matchup against Fabi.
And it's handshakes, games are underway, it's go time, and Fabi starts with 1e4? Is that knight e6?
Wow.
Oh.
Commentator's curse. I said all of his best openings. Magnus Carlsen, he has played this move, and in classical chess as well, very recently, including in the European Team Championship over the board just last month. But okay, this is provocative stuff. White already seizes a space advantage, and Black's knight on c6, slightly misplaced.
It's like a bad CARO KANN, because your c-pawn can't challenge for the center in any way. The knight on c6 actually would like to have that pawn in front of it. If that pawn on c6 can jump across, you put pressure on White's center. All that being said, even though White has a spatial advantage, there are no easy targets. Black is very solid out of the gates, and Fabiano showing that he's willing to trade off pieces here, and I don't think that Magnus is much worse despite the provocative opening.
Is there such a thing as a bad CARO KANN, Robert? That's my question. One of the favorite openings of a bunch of streamers, Levy, Rosman, Dina Valentine.
Yeah, but the CARO KANN, they say in the Queen's Gambit, is all pawns, no hope. There are no pawns going on here, and I guess there still is hope. You're watching Magnus Carlsen play chess, but the point is that you're not challenging for the center, so I feel like Black is not having the best time at the board.
It looks like a mix between a bad CARO KANN, but a good French. So this pawn structure, more reminiscent of a French defense, of course, with White seizing more space. It's a bit locked. At least Black does have the light square bishop outside the pawn chain, though. And even if it gets traded off these pair of bishops, yeah, at least Black can breathe a sigh of relief. No bad piece there in the middle game.
And Fabi starts with his non-standard, Magnus starts with the non-standard one knight to c6. Fabi makes the most natural moves, gaining space in the center, offering a bishop trade to Black's most active piece, and Magnus goes into a long think. Does that surprise you?
It does. I think two surprises. Firstly, that Fabiano reacted so quickly. Not being surprised by one knight c6 is already an achievement, but yeah, it's a bit odd because Magnus didn't have too much choice on that last move. He could have delayed the exchange, perhaps. He could have run away, maybe pinned the white knight, but okay, bishop's off the board now, white's queen on d3. Nice square for it. And Magnus needs to somehow make sense of his pieces. He needs to decide which side, which flag to castle his king on.
And there's no tension right now. There are no pawns staring at one another, no pawn breaks in the position. Maybe eventually we will see Black push that f7 pawn. That's the golden pawn. Whenever you push it, you have to be very, very careful because it can expose your king. But if he does choose at some moment to play f6, I was about to say, he will likely castle to the queen side. He gets his queen out of the way to start. Maybe we will see Magnus go in that direction. But if I'm Fabi, maybe I play a move like pawn to c3. Say, are you sure you want to castle in that direction? Because then I can play b4 and start going after the black king on that flank. So this is a very big moment for Fabi. Is he actually worried about Magnus castling queenside? I think the answer is no. But how is he going to deal with Black's impending ideas?
Yeah, pawn to c3, he's saying to Magnus, okay, please commit your king, and I will go for Robert's plan, throwing pawns down the board, pawn storm there. Magnus delays that decision, and I think very wisely does chip away at the white center.
all over the game. Fabi declining that repetition. Magnus gets the a5 pawn, gets that e pawn rolling, and now the queen is coming out, and it's him who's putting pressure on white's pieces right now. Both players under 1 minute. It's gonna take a miracle for Fabi to survive this.
And it's easier for us. We have the evaluation bar. We see what the trajectory of the game is. I don't think Fabi understood some of the problems he would face, that their danger would arise this quickly. And you see that knight, it was protecting the rook. It needed to be there. Now it hops towards the center into d6. It's going to jump forward some more. And look at Fabi move after move. He's retreating pieces as Magnus. He presses forward. There are no issues in Black's camp. This is looking really tough for Fabiano.
The last few moves, Fabi has been making retreating moves one after the other, while all of Magnus's pieces are coming into Fabi camp here. The a-pawn is going to tie down that rook on a1. Meanwhile, the other rook on h3 and the knight on h7 have been stuck there forever, not able to create the tactical tricks that Fabi was relying on, and that is desperation.
Yeah, desperation g4. He had to do something. Fabiano, he was just stuck. You cannot just wait for your opponent to slowly improve and kind of get their pieces to ideal squares and slowly crush you. Now the white king is eternally weak. The whole idea was to kick back the black knights and go for black's central pawns, but this is a beautiful outpost. Black's knight on c4 where it's just landed, not just defending the center, but supporting the advance of that a-pawn. Again, he's just been playing with offside pieces. That white knight on h7, it grabbed a pawn, but it's been stuck on that square, that useless square, for 10, 15 moves now.
And there's not even a check against the black king. It's safely situated on c8. He goes, finally moves one of his knights. Now he can move the other, but the knights are superfluous here. They're stepping on each other's toes, and that a-pawn, it's about to become a queen. I wonder if queen b2, is he, there it's played. He's giving up a rook with check in this position because he will get a new queen.
Wow, that is beautiful, Robert. Let's just show that variation. If the queens had been exchanged, then Magnus Carlsen would have won on the spot with a beautiful tactic here. Queen to b2 would have allowed a simple rook sacrifice. This is a check. The king can move actually in either direction, but king to d7, and no way to prevent that pawn from promoting to a queen. This would have been deadly. Let's catch up with the current position. Queen's still on the board here, of course, but look at this pawn on a2. It will decide the game before too long. White's still dancing around without any purpose as Magnus tries to land the killer blow.
The rook comes up just to protect everything. All of Magnus's pieces are doing something here, and now files are opening in front of Fabi's king. So he stole a pawn, but he opened a file. So the f file is open, the g file as well, and maybe this knight on e7 can go, queen b1 instead.
That is stunning.
Take my queen and give me a new one, please.
And on the way, give your rook as well. And Fabi panicking there, doesn't make his move in time. He just gives up, he resigns. What happened there? Did he run out of time?
Looks like his clock is on zero, Tanya. He ran out of time, but it was a lost position anyway.
Busted for Fabi. Magnus Carlsen. He plays, he wins. And there he takes his match against the world number 2 without needing an Armageddon.
What a game from Magnus Carlsen. And as you've said on previous days, David, when you poke the bear, sometimes you unleash the bear. And Magnus Carlsen, he leapt all over Fabi's position.